I'm going to go ahead and do the AzEDS part first, and then I'll answer Leia's question after that she had about the attendance report. So AzEDS, if you go to System Reports, you should see the AzEDS Reporting tab. If you don't see the AzEDS Reporting tab, and you should, that was the question that Stephanie brought up, is what if I don't have access to AzEDS Reporting and I need to? Then we would want you to put in a work order with that request. So you'll put in a technology work order requesting access to the AzEDS Reporting if you don't see it. Does that answer that question? Yeah. Okay, so the top part of the AzEDS Reporting, I'm gonna go to the school. Sorry, since Mount Graham's on, is that all right, Mount Graham, if I use your data?
Go right in.
All right, thank you. So again, I go to System Reports, AzEDS Reporting, and I'm seeing the data for Mount Graham. Up at the top,
that's what happens when you join.
This is where we've downloaded data, and this can be helpful for you as you're looking up information. For example, organization directory, if I click on review and I choose districts and schools, this is where I can get the CTDS numbers for different schools that students have attended. So this could be helpful if you need to add that previous school CTDS number. You can filter by school name, by district name. If you click on the filter, it allows you, so if I wanted to know Duncan High School, I can search by Duncan High School, add the filter, and I can get the CTDS number for Duncan High School. Okay. All right. The other thing that's here is under state courses. If you're needing to change a state course number, this is where all the state courses are as well. So if you need that Arizona course number, you can come here and find the Arizona course numbers. So that will be important for Pam, for the counselors, like if they're going to add another course. Also, Mount Graham, any of our high school, our elementary schools, we kind of manage their courses, but middle school, but nobody's on from there. So anyways, that's where you can put state course code. Down in the published data, this is the data that has published to AzEDS from the beginning. You can see this is Mount Graham High School, and they have nothing processing right now. The way that AzEDS works is when you make a change, it should send that data to AzEDS pretty much immediately. So throughout the day, it's like if you were to make a change in a birth date or an address or any kind of space data, I guess I would say, it should come here and process that data. So the processing column shows you what's happening right now. So right now there's nothing happening. Once it's processed, it moves into publishing, the publishing column, and you'll watch it publish. If there are no issues, it should go right away into publish, and from publishing, and it will end up in the published column on the very far right. If there are problems with the data, it could end up in the dependency column. And so dependencies are things, so for example, you add a new student, and student demographics will publish, but the enrollment may end up in the dependency column because it's waiting on a student contact. Our student contacts are being handled through Leslie. Leslie is adding all student contacts for AzEDS purposes. So when she's monitoring new students, and as new students come, she's adding the student contacts. So if you see a dependency, the way that you would see what that dependency is like right here, I have a dependency in the student teacher section column. If I click on review, I can review the dependencies. You can see I can review the summary, what's been published, the dependencies, and the errors. I know I don't have any errors because there weren't any errors in that column, but I have dependencies. So then I'm going to say, okay, what are the dependencies? If I look at staff sections, here's where the dependencies are. Down at the very bottom, you'll have a clear cache, and you will have to click on that periodically if you've had errors in the past and they've cleared up, sometimes they'll stay in the cache and you have to clear your cache. But these are dependencies that's waiting on a section. Now, I know why they're there, and you're probably going, why are those there? And it's because of these errors right up here. These errors right up here under courses sections are errors that you can do nothing about. We're waiting on a PowerSchool update that should come out on Friday that should fix this error. So it's nothing you've done. It's nothing, you know, that I will notify you if there's things that are data errors that you need to look at for sure. And that'll either be through an email from us or Sally will put it in her AzEDS error spreadsheet.
So you will notify us?
Yes, but we just wanted you to know how this screen worked because you can also look here yourself. So if I had an error under student contacts, I can click review and I have the same choices. I can see what's published, what dependencies are, and what my errors are. So if I click on published, then I choose, okay, what do I want to look at? The student contacts. I can see all the student contacts that have been published and their last date of publication. You can sort by those things. All the columns are sortable. They also have filters on them. So all of the screens work very similar. The one thing that's different is over here, past errors where you see data exceptions. This is where you kind of get warnings. And so, and you can only see on data exceptions, you can only see these from the school level. So for example, I see that I have a data exception on this student demographic. I want to look at that and see what that is. If I click review, I have data quality checks. All of your data exceptions are going to be under data quality checks. When I bring that up, it says, oh, wait a minute, there's a student that's missing part of the physical address. If I bring it up, it brings up the student and I can see that they're missing a city and a street and a postal code. So that's telling you that this data has gone to AzEDS, but there may be issues with the data in your data quality. So this is where I'd like you guys to make sure that you check, because this could, you know, this student needs an address. Now, we have asked them to make this link to the student name take you to the student. Right now it doesn't. We actually just told Dan that at our meeting on Friday. So I would have to, you know, figure out, okay, the student, and then you would have to go to that student and fix their data. And then once you fix their data, then they should go away from the data quality check. So we will push run now. You don't ever have, at least at this point, right now, if we need to resend data or anything, we will take care of pushing the button for run now. But if you did push it, it's not going to hurt anything. It's just going to, if there's any data out there that hasn't gone up to AzEDS, it will push it through. So for example, on Friday when the update comes in, I'm going to click run now. And I'm going to tell it to publish missing, or I'm going to tell it to retry the errors. If I tell it to retry the errors, you'll watch what happens. And you'll see, oh, it took those 12 errors and it's running it back through, trying to see if it will make it into the AzEDS system. I know it's not going to, but, you know, because the fix hasn't been put in place. But that's just how it works. And I wanted you to be sure and know, you know, how this is kind of your event queue. So when Sally used to say, hey, the event queue is showing these errors, where you could go in there before she could analyze them, you can still do that. It's just a different look. And so I wanted to make sure that you knew how this page worked and could kind of maneuver your way through the page. Yes.
It's like we pulled up that picture.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see what's missing any of the
In
address.
her demographic data, she has an address?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, FEMA.
But does it have a street?
She has, is it maybe for the PO is down here, but under.
And I may have to run her through again, like, and it may clear that one up. Like maybe it wasn't there and you added it and it hasn't gone through. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but it's for the data.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Let me see if I do a clear cache and she goes away. She hasn't gone away, so I may.
Now, are you the only one that does the clear cache?
Nope, you can click clear.
Okay.
You should double click that as well.
Like, got that.
So let me just double check, so make sure that so, yep, she has that. So what I may need to do is just send her data back through. And I can do that. We can just run now. If I were to hit run now and publish missing, then it should go through and hopefully clear that data quality check, that data exception.
Now, should we be doing that?
See how it went away? See it went away? Yeah. Yeah, so you can.
That, or do we wait for you to do that?
You can do it. It doesn't hurt anything. You know, like I said.
All we're going to do is click on run now, and if it's corrected, it will disappear.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so you can see that one disappeared. Your staff demographics, those data quality checks are usually checks like they're excluded from state reporting, and that would be because I want them excluded. So you don't want to change that. Like we don't want these people, because they're not teachers, to go to state reporting. So that's just a information. See how it says information? It's not really a warning. It says teacher.
Okay.
Anyway, so it's going to take a little while to get used to the new format and the new errors, but feel free to contact us because we can explain them, why things might be showing up there, and why, you know, what might be missing. So under student enrollments, if I go here and look at the data quality checks here, here I have a student entry code, and that's going to come up for your PS. So remember how on that one report where PS codes give you warnings? It's the same thing. It's saying, hey, are you sure that's supposed to be right? You know it's right, and so you don't worry about it. This is saying, hey, this has an exit code or exit date that's prior to the entry date. Well, on no-shows, that's exactly what you have. So you know that those are right. So all it is it's checks that they put in place to help you analyze your data, but they may not be problems. So it's kind of like those same reports that we run under section enrollment and school enrollment, where sometimes there's an error in there, but it's not, or a warning in there, but it's not really a warning. And you have to know, oh, those are okay. I don't have to worry about those. Does that make sense? We have not pushed attendance, but we plan to do that hopefully today or tomorrow. We gotta get with Sally. But Sally's like, yay. No.
Yeah.
So we're hoping.
Really, I can wait a little bit.
We're hoping to push attendance hopefully this week, except for at HDPA, at the online school. So we're going to push attendance, I'm hoping, from all the schools except for the online school.
Okay.
But that is the AzEDS dashboard. Like I said, feel free to become familiar with it and use it to help yourself with analyzing your data. It's one more tool that could help you find errors, see maybe why things aren't processing, what's been published. I also want to show you, if you have access to the needs page, so like I'll just choose this student that we were looking at. If I go to the needs page, the state page, and not everybody has access to this. It's based on who needs to have. So if you don't, it's because you don't need to have, probably. But right here, there's an AzEDS publishing, and this shows you what's been published for that student. And so you can see that they've been, you know, they're up here is their demographic data. She has not had student contacts published. So this is a student that probably just enrolled on 9/7, and so I got to get a contact published for her. And that, like I said, Leslie will take care of creating the contact. Once the contact's created, it should publish and go through. But this student will probably have errors at AzEDS because it's missing a contact. But you don't have to worry about that. Yes.
Sure, I don't understand.
Leslie's going to create contacts. She's managing all new students. So what I mean by that is
what contact?
right here. Okay, so see under the state you have contacts.
Uh-huh.
If I go there, this student does not have a contact. Now, you've put the contact information in demographics as who her parent is. Leslie takes that information and she creates the contact. So you don't have to worry about it. Leslie at this point is going to manage contacts because we don't want duplicate contacts throughout the district. So she's managing the contacts for AzEDS.
Oh, gotcha. Thank you.
Okay? Yeah, good question. All right, any questions about the AzEDS page? That's really what I wanted to show you today as far as the dashboard and how it works and how you can click on the buttons and what they do. You sometimes have to push the refresh button at the top. You can change your refresh to refresh every 30 seconds. I hate it because it keeps refreshing. So I just push the refresh button when I want refresh information. But those are just kind of how it works. Transcripts, that will publish whenever grades have been stored or grades have been hand entered by our, like when you hand entered a transcript, like a transcript or credit that the student has earned. Attendance, we will schedule once we do our initial upload. So those you probably don't necessarily, you know, I wouldn't schedule or run those because those just happen. But any of the others, if you hit run now, it shouldn't mess anything up. Any questions? Hopefully it will be helpful as you're helping us to get the data to AzEDS. So far, Sally, it's looking pretty good, correct?
It is.
Yeah, I think we're doing pretty well with our AzEDS publishing. The other questions on that, I'll talk about the question that Leah had on the SOS. Under SQL reports folder, we've added some reports that you can run, and I think you were asking the student attendance or the meeting attendance report. If you click on the meeting attendance report and say, I just want to see for today, and I hit submit, it shows me all the students, what period and what codes and their comments. So I can see the attendance for today. I can copy it, I can put it in Excel, print it, put it in PDF. So, and you can sort it. Okay. So I'm under Run SQL. Go ahead.
So I'm on Power School.
Okay.
And I follow the instructions to do the student attendance code.
Oh, okay, that's this one. Okay. So if I want to look at, say, Jacob, and I put the start date from here to here, then I choose a type. So if I want a bar graph, and then you hit submit, it will create the graph, and he doesn't have any attendance, I'm assuming. So let me go to, I don't know.
Oh, I see. We'll have to get a different student.
Right here, under at the top, it brings up all your students that are active.
I'm clicking on yours.
Oh, I don't know anybody who has attendance at your school.
Oh, dear.
So let's just click one. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's one. And so that shows you, you know, how many, I don't know if this will be helpful or not. It's just a report that was there that we're trying to add to give you as many options of getting data that you can. Oh, I want to show this one. Sorry, Susan was having trouble with our, when we sent out the bus, when the buses couldn't run because of the rain.
Auto dialer.
The auto dialer. So this phone number search is pretty awesome. So, sorry, I gotta go to the high school to do it because I only know my own phone number. So if I go to SQL reports for, so say I'm looking for a phone number, I can put, this is my last 4 digits, I can search for that, and it will find any students who have that, and it will show you the fields that it has those sequence of numbers in it. Instead of having to search all 3 fields 3 different times. This will be very helpful for Susan as she helps.
I want that for me too.
Yes, anybody who needs, if somebody says, hey, I got a call from you at this number, if you have just one part of that number, you can run it. Like, what's your number, Stephanie? Give me like 4 digits.
7762.
7762. So if I run that, At the high school, I see that has a number in there. I can find the numbers. So that one's kind of a cool one that quickly searches 3 fields instead of having to do a search, and a search. So, but I'd share that. That's just a little tip.
When you put a number in, it doesn't work.
So it must not have that number. You have to put it in, like I wouldn't put the full number in, I would put a sequence. I wouldn't put the dash because the more you put, the more restricted it is. So just put like 4 digits. Like if I were to do this at the high school and say do 428, let me just do that, 428. I'm gonna get tons because there's tons of 428. See what I mean? So you want to run it with the least amount of information. So if somebody calls and says, you know, it's a 692 number, I can run that. It's going to give me anything that has 692 anywhere in the number. Does that make sense?
Okay, so is there any way for like South Grand, we have 3 different schools, we have to click on each different school?
Yes, you do. You have to do, there's no way to run it, it has to be at the school level. Like I can't even run it at the district level. I tried to run it with my number at the district level and it didn't find it. It has to be done at the school level. Yes. Okay. So that's all I have as far as what I wanted to demonstrate today. So I'll turn the time back over.